Now, it was supposed to be a special night for Billy Slater as the NRL great played his last game with the Melbourne Storm in the grand final, but crowds at ANZ Stadium are being accused of ruining it by booing the retiring sportsman throughout the game.
He's only ever been someone or something good for our game, and I think he deserved a bit more respect than that.
Here. Let's get today's take on this with Shelley Horton from 9honey.com.au and journalist John Mangos. Shelley, to you first. Billy's been on the show a lot. He's an absolutely outstanding citizen. He's a great bloke, great dad, great player. No controversy except for last week.
Yep.
It's his last game. Didn't he deserve a little bit more than that? I mean, you can't ban booing, but
I think he should ban booing. Like, I honestly think booing is poor sportsmanship. And what are we trying to teach kids? To be good sports. And you know what? Booing someone on their final game, that's going to be his final memory, is that the crowd was hating him. And I really feel so sorry that is how it's going to be.
I love Billy Slater, and I think he's been, a great role model in the game. But it's tribal.
It's tribal.
Absolutely. You've got, the Storm out there, you've got the Roosters supporters. I mean, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been the Storm supporters booing, would it?
I hope not.
Look, we agree again. I like Billy Slater too, but it's not about booing him. Okay, it's heroes and villains. This is Australian sport. You cheer. He's had plenty of cheers in he's correct. And
he's behind you.
But think of all the glorious cheers that he got during his career. This booing wasn't so much about him being its last game, but I think they were booing.
It's a grand final.
But also they were booing the judiciary for what they thought was a bad decision. Nothing to do with Billy Slater. Everybody loves him. It's part of Australian sport that you cheer when it's good and you boo when it's bad.
How would you feel if your son was booed?
And it's
different, isn't it? Oh, it's different. It's not different.
No, look, I wouldn't, because it's heroes and villains. We boo and we cheer. It's part of
can't take it
you know
personally?
What? You pay your money to go into the ground and say whatever you like. It's part of the fun.
I think it's appalling. Why should it be okay that you can go and say whatever you like?
Ask Adam Goodes, who won 2 Brownlow medals, who was booed in his last few games for the Sydney Swans too.
And look at how it affected his mental health when he was slagged by people on the side.
He doesn't have any mental health issues. He's an Australian of the Year.
Let's move on. Let us know what you think about that. If you're a Billy Slater fan, get on the internet, let us know. Also making news, our mobile phones are ruining our ability to read emotions. Where are my glasses? A new study found a growing number of people find it hard to look others in the eye and understand how they are feeling. John, there are people who are concerned. I'm concerned more for kids than us with this, but
it's clearly getting worse. It's not at that bad stage yet. It's certainly killing the art of the conversation. I was at a restaurant the other day. This absolute truth. There were 2 young women at the table next to me. Both of them were doing these ones. There was absolutely all night no conversation, and we wondered at our table, I wonder if they're communicating with each other or the outside world. So I think it's definitely affecting the art of conversation. In terms of reading facial gestures, if it keeps going the way it's going, quite possibly, but not yet. I mean, a smile is still a smile and a tear is still a tear, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Maybe
However,
at your age. I think it is a young thing. No,
she's out to get me today. She is out to get me today.
I think that the issue is that the younger generation haven't had the art of conversation. We have. And when I say your age, that's my age as well. But we're talking about kids who've grown up and it's all Facebook and online. So therefore, we can read faces because we get it. But
they can read Facebook.
Well, they read Facebook or they read an emoji. So I find sometimes even if someone sends a text and I'm like, is that a joke or not? And it's only if they do the laughing emoji, I'm like, oh, it's a joke. It's fine.
Do you think that's a passive-aggressive thing, though?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. But it is one of the things. That's how you interpret it. So
there's no tone in text, and that's the problem.
And as a consequence, it's homogenising society to a large degree. I saw this come up at a conference recently where engineers were saying, well, when we communicate with other parts of the world, we don't know about whether it's a Chinese thing or a South American thing because the language is becoming homogenised via computer, which is a very interesting thought.
It is, lol. Anyway, Shelley, John, stay with us when we come back.
Facepalm.
Board game battle. Find out just how many Australians cheat their family and friends out of a win.
Who wants their family to win? And do you cringe at your friend's coffee order, or are you like some of us, just a fabulous coffee snob that just loves life and appreciates the better things? We will find out next. That's not a loaded question.
Well, welcome back. Now, most of us won't admit it, but new research has found almost 2/3 of us cheat when we play board games. Why are you laughing like that?
Let's get today's
That's
take
a
on this with
guilty
Shelley
laugh.
Horton
It's
and
evil.
John Manger. Hey, listen, I'm just saying, if you run the bank in Monopoly, anything can happen. Our tendency to cheat comes from our desire to beat our friends or our family, Shelley. Are you a cheater?
I'm not, and I know.
You liar.
But I play hard and competitively. So we were doing Pictionary or one of those things.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad was cheating. And
How can you cheat at Pictionary?
it was because he would only give clues that the girls could get. It wasn't Pictionary. It was something that it was like boys against girls.
Okay.
And so he was using like bilge pump and words like that I don't know what they are.
Bilge pump?
It's in a boat. I don't know. Anyway, I actually got a little bit upset and was just like, I think my opinion view has just gone down a little bit. I was a little bit like, cannot believe he would cheat.
Things get ugly, don't they?
They can. I've got a feeling David and I are on the same wavelength here. It would be un-Australian not to cheat in a board game. I mean, it is not an entrance examination that's going to determine the rest of your life. It's a board game. And part of the fun of it is to get a little sneaky one past your opponent.
Where are
If
your
David-
ethics and morals?
if he was the
Booing,
banker-
cheating.
Yes,
If you were the Monopoly
retrobate.
banker, I would call for a royal commission. Now, not all of us cheat at board games.
I defy you to deny that you've
Let
ever
us know.
cheated.
If you cheat at board games, go on to Facebook and Twitter and admit it.
Yes. Now, 10% of us are coffee snobs. Apparently, the country's obsession with caffeine is causing us to judge our friends for their coffee order. John, first of all, how do you take it?
And what about your coffee?
Boom, boom. Am I a coffee snob? I don't know, but I'm very specific. I love the taste, so I have espresso, sometimes double espresso, which is the short black, with no sugar. So I want to taste.
That's good, but that's
Just
got to
a
be
double
good coffee
espresso.
to do that.
It's got to be good coffee to do
Okay.
that.
You
yeah.
can't just
What
do that.
No,
do you have,
yeah.
Shelley?
I'm a piccolo latte with an equal. And I had...
Audible groan from the side of the table.
I am 45 and I had my first coffee when I was 33. I'm not a big coffee drinker. I can go for days without. But here's the one thing, I've never had an instant coffee in my life
No,
because
I
I
don't.
figure I don't
Don't.
need to.
It's rubbish. Hey, can I tell you a quick one?
rubbish.
20
Lots of people
or
love
30 years ago, before it became coffee snobbery was around,
Yeah.
I was with someone in the little Italy area of Sydney. And this person asked for a decaf with soy milk and no froth and something on the side. And the waitress said, do we call him waitress? The server said, how about I just bring you a glass of water?
Yeah,
I love it. She did it with the stern face. Magic.
Yeah.
How about I just bring a glass of water?
What do you drink?
I drink a piccolo, almond milk piccolo, strong. Almond milk.
Double shot
Almond milk.
Double shot
piccolo.
almond milk piccolo.
Ugh.
It's only because he hasn't tried the macadamia milk.
Oh, I love macadamia milk. You ever
How about
tried
no milk? Just taste the coffee, smell the
If it's
roses,
good coffee, if it's good
Sometimes.
coffee, I think it's a good barista or a good coffee shop, I'll just have the single espresso.
and enjoy it as it's meant to
Absolutely.
be.
And you get a real hit from it too,
Do you,
John.
don't you, James?
know.
I've had one already.
I know what you're chasing, buddy. I know what dragon you're chasing, son.
Okay, go on to Facebook and Twitter. Let us know how you take your coffee and are you a coffee snob?
There's a lot to talk to us about today
Yeah,
on
there
social
media.
is. And I think there'd be
Thanks,
a few
Tim.
people at home drinking coffee, feeling a little bit,
Coffee shame by the whole Mokona head over here.
just
fragile.
a little fragile. Because there was a lot of sport on the weekend and there was a lot of celebration going on.
equals
So
booze.
Now that's
having
when you
coffee,
need to
let us know.
Have a coffee with a Coke chaser.
That'll fix
Oh, I'll fix it.
Knock yourself out. Have a double espresso.
it. Thank you, John. Thank you, Shelley. Coming up on Today Extra is...